Just before the start of the 2020 legislative session, the Senate DFL caucus elected a new leader for their caucus. Now joining me in the studio is Minority Leader Susan Kent to provide details on the Senate DFL priorities for this legislative session. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Congratulations on your new position. What does this change in leadership mean for the Senate DFL caucus?
You know, there's been a lot of speculation and talk about all of that. We are still the same 32 people that we have been, and we are going to continue to work together really well and stay focused on the work of the people of Minnesota. You know, these are conversations that happen among caucuses on a regular basis, and it just is about, these are sometimes tough conversations that we need to have about how we can most effectively do our jobs, which is, again, focusing on what's good for people in Minnesota.
At the pre-session briefing sponsored by Forum News Service, there was a question about what should be done with the budget surplus that was forecast, and we have a new forecast coming soon. You mentioned that some of these extra dollars could be used for school counselors and nurses. This has been a very important issue for you. You've been on the program. We've talked about it. Does your caucus agree that area could use some enhancement?
I suggested that because we know that this surplus is largely one-time money, and the way that that particular grant is structured, it is a one-time appropriation, and so that is a good way to make a difference on some issues that we know are so important: the opportunity gap in our schools, mental health for our students, and so that was one example of the kind of things we could be doing. Our caucus is working together to make sure that we are on the same page about specific issues, but you know, we have a real clear priority on making sure that everybody has access to health care that's affordable, prescription drugs, good schools, good infrastructure, good jobs. It's the basics.
So you haven't necessarily settled on a use for any potential surplus dollars?
We're going to have to see how this all plays out. You know, there's concerns about money that was taken out of the reserve fund last year as part of the budget agreement. There's a lot of discussion about what can we do for education, which I think is important. There's also discussions about how does this fit into the bonding discussion. So, you know, there are a lot of different ways that we can address our priorities within the frameworks of a non-budget year.
And you mentioned bonding, and this is a bonding year, and so that's really what much of the speculation has been about. It does require a 2/3 vote, and so it needs members of both parties to support. The governor and the Republicans agree on the need for water treatment, higher education structures, roads and bridges. The governor has also put housing in the mix. Where is your caucus? Like, what areas do you really feel are essential bonding measures?
We will continue to have these conversations and come up with our proposals as well. You know, as you know, it's an interesting process that should be going through committees, but doesn't always. And so we're trying to figure out how we make sure that our voices are heard in this conversation, because you're right. Some DFLers will have to be involved in supporting a bonding bill this session. But again, it goes back to our values and our overall priorities, and making sure that our infrastructure is sound, that it provides for strong communities, making sure that our higher education institutions are well maintained and invested in for our future, for our workforce, for our students. Housing, and I really appreciate the governor's focus on housing. He came out to my community in Woodbury recently to do a ribbon cutting on a residential complex for seniors, very affordable. And that was done with a little bit of leveraging of state bonding. We got additional tax credits, private financing, and local funds to come together to do something that was really pretty special. That's a great example of things we could be doing, and we know the need is great at all ages of life for Minnesotans and across the state in terms of workforce needs.
Gun violence prevention has been growing. I mean, the interest in it, there's been more and more talk about it. Now, the Republicans in the Senate have said that they are interested in some compromise measures, maybe increased penalties for straw buyers and things like that. This is an election year, and so this is an important issue. Is your caucus willing to do some compromise, or where are you on this issue?
What we know is that 90% of Minnesotans support the two main bills that the Senate DFL caucus has been focused on in the past few years. expanded background checks to make sure that we keep guns out of the hands of criminals and those who would hurt themselves and others, and also the so-called red flag laws or extreme risk protection orders. I think when people see the language that is being proposed, they will recognize that these are very common sense measures, and I'm hopeful that the kind of compromise that our Republican colleagues are interested in starts with hearing the bills and then giving an opportunity to really have a fair hearing in the public of what is actually being proposed.
You mentioned healthcare in a previous answer. We have healthcare, we have paid family and medical leave, we have some other issues that have been near and dear to your caucus. What kinds of work will you try to do on those issues, and any I've forgotten if you want to mention this session?
Well, obviously, trying to make sure that prescription medication is available and affordable is a huge priority, and obviously insulin has taken a real front seat in there, which is so important because it is life-saving for many Minnesotans. I keep hearing that there may be opportunity for compromise to get to something that will make sure that that's available to Minnesotans, and also that we don't put the entire tab on the taxpayers, that pharmaceutical companies should have a role in this, but those conversations continue. You mentioned paid family and medical leave, which that's a bill I've carried in recent years. I do believe that is an amazing opportunity to level the playing field for all businesses. Many big businesses already make those benefits available. We want to make sure that's available to all workers. Many people are surprised to learn that 25% of new mothers have to go back to work after just 2 weeks after their baby's born. And I think most people realize that's not okay and we need to do better. So this is important. I'm very excited about the work that's being done in the House with Representative Lori Halverson, and hopefully we can continue this conversation in the Senate. Again, it would be helpful to get a bill hearing on that issue.
Minority Leader Kent, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.